see by the title of this video, I'm going to be talking about my labor and delivery. But before I start, I just want y'all to appreciate this melt. Where is the lace? Guys, I've been trying to find it. Like, I've been searching Lenovo Hair UK on Instagram, and that's it, babe. Period. So y'all make sure y'all check my page out and follow my page, and if y'all want to book me, I got you. Before I start, yeah, let me not put anyone off having a child. Of course, my only advice is that you don't do it at my age. But yeah, let me just say, like, everyone's experience is different. I know people that have had the complete opposite to me. Like, they've had a smooth labor and delivery. I can't really remember like timings and stuff because everything is just really a blur to me right now. But on the 16th of July at around 1 a.m. in the morning, I started having contractions. But obviously, because I've been having Braxton Hicks, like basically the like half of my pregnancy. So when I started feeling the pain, I was just like, this is just another one. Like, stop playing games with me. When you're ready, you're ready. So I was probably thinking, nah, this is nothing. So I didn't really think too deep into it. But I remember I was on the phone to my friend. I was on FaceTime to my friend, and my sister was up with me as well. And I was like to her, like, it's like to both of them, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, I think I'm feeling contractions. Yeah, started feeling the pains. Both of them were just like, oh please, like, you've been saying you've been feeling pains for like how long now? Nothing's happening, so just shut your mouth, okay? When the baby comes, we'll believe you, kind of thing. So yeah, so I didn't really think much of it. I went to bed. Obviously, around the end of my pregnancy, I wasn't really sleeping too tough. Like, I couldn't really sleep. It was really uncomfortable laying on my side. Like, every time I would just be waking up randomly. Like, I woke up, and the way I was feeling, I was like, nah, this is different, kind of thing. Like, for the pain to wake me up, I was just like, nah, this is different. Let me just time it. So I started timing it. I timed it for like 30 minutes, and I had like 3-4 contractions in that space. So basically my contractions were coming like every 10 minutes, and they were lasting a minute, just over a minute, or some of them were lasting like 30 seconds. So it wasn't really consistent. So even though I was in pain, but it was like, it felt more like period cramps at the time. But I still went to my mum's room and I was like, Mum, look, like, I showed her the timer on my phone that I've been timing my contractions. I was like, Mum, look, like, I think, you know, I'm having contractions, I'm in labor, kind of thing. She was just like, huh, really? And like, she was like panicking. I was like, Mum, don't worry, like, it's nothing much, like, because it's not consistent. Like, I'm far off anyway, if I was even in labor. So then, but on that day, at like around, I think I had an appointment at like 10:30 in the morning. So I had to go to my midwife because I was basically 41 weeks that on the 16th of July. My due date was on the 10th of July. I was already overdue. So on that day, I was meant to go in for a normal checkup, and I was also meant to get a membrane sweep, which is basically when they try to stimulate your contractions. Like, they try separate the membrane from your cervix, I think. I will search the science of it, but it was painful. Like, that was absolutely painful. And the woman, when she was doing it, she was like, after, like, I had to tell her to stop. Like, it was so painful. Like, they literally have to reach up your cervix. Like, I think that was close to my, that was just painful. I couldn't do it. I started screaming, and then she took her hands out, and then she was like, oh, Lavinia, but we couldn't really reach your cervix, so I don't think what I did worked. If you don't mind someone else trying. I said, huh? It's okay, it's fine, because if baby boy doesn't want to come to this, okay, because I'm not going through that again. Guys, it was so painful. So then she basically, the first thing she did before the membrane sweep was check my blood pressure, and I had to do a urine sample. Urine samples and this, like, you do that on basically every antenatal appointment. So I did that at the start, and then she checked it, and then she was like, oh, Lavinia, you've got protein in your urine, and your blood pressure is really high. And obviously this is a shock to me and her as well, because throughout my whole pregnancy it's been pretty smooth, so that I've had like no complications. I wasn't a high risk pregnancy at all. So the fact that she said that, I was just like, what? Like, then she was like, how she was asking me bare questions. Do I get headaches? Do I see like colored? Like, is my vision blurred? Da da da. Basically, she was asking me questions because I was showing signs of preeclampsia, which is a very serious condition to have in pregnancy. Like, is really like life threatening. It can be life threatening. So yeah, she checked it when I first got in. Then she did my membrane sweep, which was not successful. Then she checked me again, and basically my blood pressure had gone higher. Like, it had increased or whatever. And then she was just like, yeah, I'm not happy with this. I'm gonna send you to forgot what this place is called, but it's basically like where you do your scans and like there's midwives there as well. They do checks as well. They do antenatal classes there as well, antenatal checkups and stuff like that as well. So then she sent me there. At this point I was still having my contractions every like 10 minutes, but it was still not like close enough, and it wasn't as painful. Like, I could talk through them and everything. Like, it was calm. Then I went there. Oh my god, guys, I had to wait like a whole hour until I was seen by a midwife. So I had to do another urine sample when I got there. When they finally saw me after an hour, I had to do another urine sample. And the lady was checking my pressure every like 10-20 minutes. So I was there for like 2 hours. I can't remember how often she was checking my pressure, but it was just increasing every time she checked it. But I'm not gonna lie, at that point I was really scared. I was panicking. So I don't know if that had affected my blood pressure, but I was just really scared. Like, why is my blood pressure rising, and why is there protein in my urine? Like, everything's been smooth. Do you get? I was also basically hooked onto a CTG scan, which is basically monitoring the baby's heartbeat and my contractions. And it was coming up, it was showing on the scan that my contractions were 10 minutes apart, but they weren't like consistent in like how long they were lasting. Some of them were under a minute still, and some of them were like over a minute or just a minute. So the lady was still checking my blood pressure, and then she came back with my results for the for my urine. And before, my urine, my protein was was 2 pluses, and now it's 3 pluses. So she was just like, yeah, this is not good, kind of thing. So she was just like, yeah, I'm going to call the doctor so to see if she can like basically agree for you to get induced today, because we're not really liking what's happening. And plus, because you're overdue as well, like, let's just get this baby out. And I'm not gonna lie, I was so happy. I was like, yes, please, yes, I don't mind. Yes, get this baby out. I want this baby out, thank you. So the doctor came, and then she was like, yeah, I think the best thing to do is to get induced today. So basically, if you guys know Denmark Hill Station, behind it, that's basically where the scans, and that's where I was in it. And then I had to walk from there to King's College. Like, you guys know, if you know there, you know the walk is basically like a 5-minute walk, but it took me 20 minutes. On my way, I was having contractions. On my way, I saw a few people that I knew. I just ducked my head because I was not in the mood to talk. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want anyone to even know that I was in labor or anything. Like, I was, yeah. Even my friends at the time, my friends didn't even know. No one knew what was going on. No one knew what was going on apart from my mum, my sister, my auntie. No one knew at the time. So yeah, got to King's College, went to the triage section, and then they gave me, I was induced at around 6 o'clock. I'm not gonna lie, guys, yeah, like, thank God for the nurse, the midwife that I had, because she was basically, basically told me to use gas and air, because they basically had to put the thing, like, it was a white thing that stimulates your hormones for contractions, all of that. She had to put it up me, and she was just like, you know what, just take the gas and air, because this one's going to be painful, because I was really complaining that I was still feeling the pain from my membrane sweep earlier on. Like, it was just mad uncomfortable, and ugh. So she was like, yeah, just take the gas and air. So I was proper, like, and when she was doing it, I was just laughing, and at that time my mum was with me. She was just looking at me like, oh, what's going on, why are you laughing? And then the midwife was like, oh, don't worry, she's just a bit tipsy, it's just the gas in there. And she's like, oh. But yeah, anyways, I got induced, and then my mum had to leave me at 8 o'clock because of corona. Because of corona, you're not allowed visitors, you only allow visitors from 2 to 8 unless you're in labor, which is so rubbish. So my mum left me at 8, but being the African she is, and because of where we was, like, it was like no one really checked to see if visitors were there. So she stayed until like 9 or just after 9, and then when the midwife was like came, she was like, you know, you're not meant to be here, visiting hours stop at 8. Then my mom was just acting like, oh really? She's like, oh really, I didn't know. She's a lot, you lie. So yeah, she left me, then I was by myself. Then, so basically throughout that whole night, we're going into the 17th of July, I basically never slept. Like, I didn't sleep at all because the contractions were still coming in. And my nurse or my midwife or whoever, whatever she calls herself, or whatever position she has, she shouldn't even have any position in the health sector, because this woman was so incompetent. Like, I'm not gonna lie, she was meant to be checking my blood pressure every 30 minutes or so. Sis left me, and I kept calling her. Like, I was in so much pain, I needed pain relief. Kept calling her, I was in pain for like hours, and sis didn't come. When she finally came, she was just like, oh, here you go, here's your pain relief. Like, she was just so, I don't know. And then I was on the phone, and she was like, oh, you need to get off the phone because you need all the energy to push. And I just looked at her like, but you know what, I didn't want to be rude or anything, because I'm already in a vulnerable position. I didn't want to be in a more vulnerable position, because I'm not gonna lie, she was looking after me. So I just, you know, I just put a blind eye. I just focused on what I was here for, which was to have this baby and deuces, literally. So when I woke up at around, I think it was around 9, and already the nurse that I had, I was basically on my third midwife, basically, because they keep changing shift every 12 hours. Woke up, and I was in the most severe pain. Like, I was in tears. I called my midwife. I was like, look, like, I need pain relief. She was like, oh, would you want the epidural? I was like, no, I don't want the epidural. Like, I was still determined that I wanted to have a natural birth. I really didn't want the epidural because of everything that I've heard that's has, like, the risks of it. Like, I didn't want an epidural still, and I just wanted to have my baby natural. So I was just like, no, I don't want an epidural. Is there anything else you can give me? She was like, oh, well, I can give you an injection, but that only lasts 3 hours, so, but you'll be able to sleep, because I told her I didn't really get much sleep at night, blah blah blah. And she was so lovely. Like, it was like refreshing to have her. Like, she was such a lovely person. So yeah, she gave me the injection, and guys, I'm not gonna lie, I slept off. It made me so drowsy. I slept, but when I woke up, the pain said hello. The pain greeted me, full effect. I was in so much pain, I was screaming. I called her, and you know what's so funny? the night before, like when I couldn't sleep, like I was breathing through my contractions, I was firming it, like I was, you know, doing my breathing and stuff. This time, when I woke up and after she gave me that injection and I was still feeling the contractions, yeah, I didn't care. I'm screaming. I'm screaming. Like, I couldn't even control my breathing. That just went out the window. I was just like, whoa. I was in so much pain. I was crying. She was like, oh, you need to breathe. She was just like, she came to me. She was like, breathe. You need to breathe. And I was just like, there's fucking something to breathe. She was like, it's okay. And I was on the phone to my mum and sister. I was like, Mom, I can't do this anymore. I need the epidural. Da, da, da. And then my mum was like, are you sure you want to do it? I was like, yes, I do. And then I kept apologizing to her. I was like, I'm so sorry, but I can't do it. Like, I thought I could do it without the epidural, but I can't. I need my epidural. And my mum was like, okay, just you're the one feeling your pain. Just do what you got to do. Because I was having the epidural, and they was gonna take me to the labor room, the delivery room where you have the baby. So they were gonna take me there. So then my mum could come, even though it wasn't visiting hours. So she came, and yeah, they gave me my epidural. And then when they gave, but I'm not gonna lie, guys, yeah, I had to wait like an hour 30 minutes to have my epidural because the anaesthetist was in theatre. Why is there only one anaesthetist? King's College. But you know what, let me not complain because it was free of charge. This is what you get in it. If this was private sector or private hospital, none of this. But in Jesus' name, amen. My next baby, I'm not having it with the NHS. It's gonna be private hospital. I claim it. Amen. Period. But yeah, had to wait so long when the man came and did it. I'm not gonna lie, guys, the process of doing the epidural was so scary because I was having contractions and I had to still keep still, and it was so scary because he kept telling me, don't move. If you're not ready to do it, let me know because you really cannot move. Whew, guys. And when he did the injection, like, I just felt electric shocks on my right leg, and I tried not to, like, I don't know how, fam, it was just so weird. Like, your first reaction is to move, like, oh my god, what the hell is that? It just felt like cool electric shocks were just running down my legs. I was just like, ew, what is this? So I basically had to bend over like this, hold onto a pillow, and my midwife was in front of me as well, like holding me towards her, so I couldn't move. Like, she was, yeah, it was so scary. And then they did it on your lower back. She did that epidural for like the next 4 hours. I was busting jokes with the midwife. I was having a deep conversation, not a deep conversation, but we was like, the conversation was like just flowing. I wasn't really tired, but I was just like chilling in it. I was chilling. But guys, tell me why my epidural stopped working. I started feeling cramps, and I said to the midwife, I was like, why am I feeling anything? Hello? Then she was like, oh, just keep pressing your top up because they give you this thing that you're meant to press and it tops up your epidural. She was like, just keep pressing it. And yeah, for like next 20 minutes I was pressing it, but I'm still feeling pain. You're not meant to feel anything, so why am I, you're not meant to feel anything, so why am I feeling something? I was like to her, I'm still feeling something. And then she was like, okay, we'll call the anaesthetist to come down and top up your dosage. Sis, the guy that did it before, he had already gone home, shift change. So the next person that was on call in theatre, so she couldn't come and give me top up my epidural. So I was basically in agony for like an hour 30 minutes straight. She just was just like, oh, just use our gas and air. Gas and air, when you come, do you know the thing that was frustrating me? They kept telling me, use your gas and air. Fam, when you come from using an epidural and you're not feeling any pain, and then it's like a demotion. Then you want me to go and be using gas and air. I'm still feeling like, you can't tell me from like to go from epidural when you're not feeling anything, everything is flowers to go and be using gas and air. Like, I was just getting annoyed. Like, I don't want to feel pain. That's the whole point. So stop telling me to use something when it's not. If is it gonna take away my pain? No. So I'm not like I used it, but it wasn't working. Like, they had to keep checking my blood pressure, and it at this point it was really rising. Like, it was really high. And at that time I had caught a fever as well. Like, I was literally shivering. I was so cold on that bed, and because I was still strapped on I was still strapped to the monitors. Because I had the epidural, you can't really move about. That's one of the disadvantages. Like, you can't move about, you're basically on your bed. And I couldn't really move too much because the monitors kept coming off, and they had to keep monitoring the baby and the contractions in it. So I was shivering in bed. I was begging. I was literally begging her. Like, I was begging her for a blanket. But she was like, no, I can't give you a blanket because that's going to make you even hot. So, even more hot. So she was just like, yeah, I'm sorry. I can't. So, yeah, I was literally shivering in bed. I was so cold. And then I don't know how I had caught an infection as well. Apparently. Don't know how. But I'm not gonna lie, at that time I was basically in hospital going towards my second day. Yeah, going towards my third day. So a lot of people had so that's basically 6 or 7 people that have checked me, that have done an internal check on me. So I'm not surprised that I caught an infection in it, but it was just like, what the hell, infection. So, and that had, so basically, because had caught an infection, that the baby was at risk as well, and his heartbeat was increasing. It was getting, no, sorry, his heartbeat was getting fast. So there was like, oh, yeah, this is not good, kind of thing. So then at this point, I'm not gonna lie, I dilated so slow. Like, at this point I was only 5-6 centimeters dilated, and I was just over it. Like, yeah. So the anaesthetist came, topped up my epidural, but it wasn't working. When the contractions were coming, it wasn't painful, but it was feeling like cramps. I'm not meant to feel anything at all. Why is it stopped? Like, it was just dumb. And then, like, an hour later, I started feeling like the pain increased. So then I said to her, yeah, we need to call sis again. Sis needs to come and top it up. But at that point, she was like, no, I don't really want to even like top it up for you, because of what's like the signs that you're showing right now. I'm not really happy with your condition. I don't really appreciate her telling me that, because that made me more worried. Like, obviously she's meant to tell me, but I just wish she had told my mum instead of me, because I'm the kind of person, like, I take things to my head too much and I overthink. So that wasn't good for me anyway. Like, you say that my blood pressure is rising, it's gonna rise even more because I'm gonna be worried. You get it? So yeah. So then she from this point on, everything is pretty much a blur, because from this point, doctors came in, they did a scan. Like, they scanned, like, they actually did, you know, the gel, and then they scanned your belly. I had a scan done. Like, he checked everything, and after he's done checking, he was like, yeah, I can see the head, is low, Then after, he was like, yeah, Lavinia, the baby's head is not in the ideal position for birth. And I started crying. He was like, the way his head is basically, his face is at the entrance of the birth canal, the entrance instead of his head, which is this is basically difficult for delivery. At this point, I think I was fully dilated, but yeah, but my blood pressure was high, and his heartbeat was fast. So he was like, yeah, it's gonna be 2 things. Well, he said he will let me push. I can start pushing, but if there's no progress happening. It's just gonna have to be theatre, and I'm either gonna have to have an assisted birth, which is basically with the use of forceps, or a C-section. And when he said that, my heart just sank. I was just like, I don't know, like, people, like, either way you have your baby, you're still a G in it, because women, this whole thing just opened my eyes, like, women were flipping powerful. We have very high pain tolerance, and we do the damn thing. Do you get it? So I'm not like thinking C-section, like, oh, like, but I was more scared, like, oh my god, C-section at my age, like, I'm only 19 years old, a C-section. I was just thinking, wow, after how long in labor you're gonna give me a C-section? So I was like to him, I really don't want to have a C-section. And then he was like, well, let's see how you get on with the pushing, and if it don't happen, then I just want you to sign the papers now. So I had to sign some papers to basically agree that to have the C-section or the forceps delivery or whatever. So cool. And then when he was saying to me, but I'm not gonna lie, either way I was gonna get cut anyways, like, because the forceps delivery, he said that they have to cut me from the space between my vagina to my anus. Fam, when he said that, visually I was just imagining it, like, oh my god, huh? He was like, so that we can get the instrument in. Fam, I was scared. I'm not gonna lie. I'm even shaking right now. Like, I was scared. I was actually really scared. So they rushed me to theatre, and at this point, when I entered the room, it's just a... So yeah, sorry, before that, I started pushing, but I was basically pushing for like 10 minutes, and then they rushed back in. They were like, nope, theatre. And my mum, like, and when I was pushing, it was so... At this point, I was feeling the contractions, like, I was feeling it. It was eating me. The pain was eating me. I had zero energy left to push. I was pushing, but I wasn't pushing enough. I wasn't pushing hard enough. So they rushed in. They were like, yeah, theatre. So I entered. So I went. So then there was... everyone was just moving. Everyone was just moving. Everyone was just moving. Things were just going too fast for me. I was just thinking, what is going on? Like, things just turned... things just went left, didn't it? So I went to the theatre now. They wheeled me to the theatre. And then inside, it's just a really big room. And there's like 30 people there, all doing different things. Everyone was just... yeah, like, it was just bright lights. I just remember bright lights, bare noise, and people. Just a lot of people. And then, like, people were talking to me, but I wasn't really responding. Like, I was just trying to stay calm, if anything, because I know myself in it. If I start thinking about this too much and letting it get to me, I'm not progressing. Like, I'm just gonna be like, I'm gonna do the C-section, because basically what I had to do, they said, so I had to get in, what's it called, I had to have an anesthetic, which will basically, they said, well, I wouldn't have any feeling from here, like from my belly down. I couldn't feel anything, but they said that I still had to push. So they told me that even though I'm going to paralyze you, you're not going to have any feeling from your belly to your feet. You still have to push. How the hell I did that, I do not know. Sis was just like, just living, just imagine you're on a toilet seat and you're taking a number 2 and push, like, just push. I said, I didn't say anything to her in it, because I didn't want to, like, start panicking, and if I open my mouth, I knew I was going to start crying. So I was just like, okay. And then everyone there was just like, really, like, encouraging me, and just really like, they're all just so supportive. Like, it felt good because I didn't really believe I could do it. I had already, in my mind, I'd already settled for a C-section. So I don't know how I did it in it, but whilst I couldn't feel anything. So the lady had to basically put her hand on my belly, and then she felt when the contractions were coming, and then I was pushing. Whilst I was pushing, there was a man that was basically pulling him by Zayn by his head out. I was so scared, I'm not gonna lie, and my mum was just near me crying. Like, I don't know how I didn't start crying as well, but she was just so, I don't know. No one wants to see their child go through that, innit? She was just like, wow. She was just there crying, and I was just hearing her praying and crying. I was just like, wow, this is serious. This is serious. Oh. I was just like, wow. Wow. But at that time, the pain was so much. I had to do a lot of movement as well, because they had to give me another anesthetic. So I had to basically sit up. I was lying on my bed that I was in for like the past 2 days. Then I had to sit up, and they gave me another anesthetic, and then from that I had to basically go back onto their bed, lie down. Like, it was just a lot of movement that I didn't want to do, because I was already in so much pain that the pain, I can't remember the pain. Like, I'm sure you guys have heard this too many times, that you're never gonna remember the pain, but you just know that it was hell. 10:15, baby boy was here. They literally just dumped him on me. Like, I wasn't expecting it, because I didn't really feel anything. I didn't even know when he was out, but they were kept telling me, like, they was telling me the progress of it, like, oh, his head is out, his shoulders are out, but I just dumped him on me. I was just like, huh. I was just like, whoa. Hey, Zayn. I don't remember I cried. I was just really emotional. Do you know what it is? Yeah, if you know me, I'm such an emotional person, but I controlled my emotions so well. I didn't even cry. I remember I just kept saying, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Like, I was in that, but I don't think I cried. But I was really happy. I was happy everything was over. But little did I know, the worst was yet to come. I'm not even gonna lie. From that, like, after having my baby, I thought it was just, this is home time, but no. But that's basically gonna be a whole different video if you guys want it. So they stitched me up and everything, and yeah, I went to the recovery room, and I'm not gonna really say anything from now on about what happened after. But yeah, that was my delivery and labor. I didn't really push baby out and stuff, but he's here and he's healthy. My epidural stopped working 3 times. Thinking of my labor, I'm just like, when I tell people what happened, they're just like, wow, you did that. It's like, yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do at that moment. Don't do it, you'll see. Like, there was no, you have to do it, because one way or another, this baby has to come out. So you've got to do what you've got to do, period. So yeah, that is my labor and delivery. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I really didn't want this video to be long, but by the looks of it, it's gonna be a long one. Okay, well, thank you guys so much for watching this really long video. And I'm probably gonna do a Q&A after this video. So send me any questions that you have about labor, delivery, pregnancy, anything. Just ask me and I will reply or answer what I can. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Stay blessed. Bye.